Greek Mythology Trivia Speed Round 5. Track how many questions you can get right. Question: what fruit is associated with Persephone's descent into the underworld? The answer is pomegranate. Fun fact: eating 6 seeds bound her to spend part of each year in the underworld. Question: who was condemned to eternal hunger and thirst for serving his son as food to the gods? The answer is Tantalus. Fun fact: his name gives us the word tantalize, meaning to torment with unreachable temptation. Question: who was Achilles' beloved companion whose death drove him to rage? The answer is Patroclus. Fun fact: Patroclus was killed wearing Achilles' armor, tricking Hector. Question: what sea monster swallowed entire ships whole? The answer is Charybdis. Fun fact: she was once a nymph punished by Zeus for flooding lands with seawater. Question: which mortal lover of Zeus was turned into a cow to hide her from Hera's jealousy? The answer is Io. Fun fact: Hera wasn't fooled. She sent a gadfly to torment Io, forcing her to wander the earth. Question: who killed Hector in single combat? The answer is Achilles. Fun fact: Achilles dragged Hector's body around the walls of Troy to avenge Patroclus. Question: which Greek city was said to be founded by Cecrops, a half-man, half-snake king? The answer is Athens. Fun fact: Athena won the city's patronage by gifting it the olive tree, symbolizing peace and prosperity. Question: which Titan held dominion over the seas before Poseidon? The answer is Oceanus. Fun fact: he was not replaced in battle, but quietly faded into myth as the god of the world's great river. Question: which Titan fathered the Olympian gods? The answer is Cronus. Fun fact: Cronus swallowed his children to prevent them from overthrowing him, until Zeus escaped. Question: what island was home to Odysseus? The answer is Ithaca. Fun fact: despite his long absence, his people remained loyal to him. Question: which goddess personified the earth itself? The answer is Gaia. Fun fact: Gaia was considered the mother of all life, including the Titans and gods. Question: who was the king of Troy during the war? The answer is Priam. Fun fact: he bravely entered Achilles' tent to beg for Hector's body. Question: who was the king of Sparta and husband of Helen? The answer is Menelaus. Fun fact: Menelaus was one of the original suitors bound by oath to protect Helen's marriage. Question: which Greek god was known for guiding souls to the underworld? The answer is Hermes. Fun fact: Hermes' Roman equivalent, Mercury, was also the god of travelers and thieves. Question: what guardian did Hercules capture from the underworld in his final labor? The answer is Cerberus. Fun fact: he dragged the three-headed dog to the surface without using weapons. Question: which Roman god of beginnings and doorways has two faces? The answer is Janus. Fun fact: January is named after Janus, symbolizing the transition between past and future. Question: which god sent storms to delay Odysseus's voyage home? The answer is Poseidon. Fun fact: he punished Odysseus for blinding his son Polyphemus. Question: who was the prophetess of Troy, cursed to never be believed? The answer is Cassandra. Fun fact: she warned the Trojans not to bring the horse inside, but was ignored. Question: who was the first mortal woman created by the gods? The answer is Pandora. Fun fact: her curiosity led her to open a jar, not a box, releasing evils into the world. Question: who was the god of flocks, shepherds, and rustic music? The answer is Pan. Fun fact: his pipes were said to cause panic in lonely travelers. Question: what belt did Hercules retrieve in his 9th labor? The answer is the girdle of Hippolyta. Fun fact: it belonged to the Amazon queen and symbolized her authority. Question: which Titan was overthrown by his son Zeus? The answer is Cronus. Fun fact: his wife Rhea into swallowing a stone instead of their youngest son, Zeus. Question: who was the enchantress who detained Odysseus for 7 years? The answer is Calypso. Fun fact: she offered him immortality if he would stay with her. Question: who was the mortal musician whose song could charm even stones and trees? The answer is Orpheus. Fun fact: his lyre playing was said to make even Hades weep. Question: which goddess of revenge punished hubris against the gods? The answer is Nemesis. Fun fact: she was often portrayed with a sword and scales, like justice personified. Thanks for watching. Comment below to let us know how many questions you got right. If you like this video, tap like, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share with friends. See you in the next video.